because I know how powerful they really are. And I would have to say one is free, grounding, connecting to the Earth's surface. I mean, our body needs these beautiful negative ions that are spread all over the Earth's surface. And we've been disconnected from the Earth's surface because of rubber-soled shoes. And ever since then, I'm not saying correlation is causation, but you've seen an uptick in diabetes, you've seen an uptick in autoimmune disease. And I think a lot of that has to do with the reason that we are disconnected from the Earth's surface, because when you're connected and you're sucking up those beautiful negative ions, I mean, it's impossible to be chronically inflamed. And when you are chronically inflamed, that is the basis of all autoimmune disease.
Welcome to Elementis Way. My name is Prem Sangeet, and today we're going to explore a lot about biohacking, longevity, bioresonance, and some more woo-woo stuff. And I have a special guest today, Elisabeth Carson, and she's an amazing, multidimensional entrepreneur. She's a trauma-informed coach and transformational guide, and she built an empire with almost 100 million people to empower people to get into their full potential, full power. So I'm very, very pleased to have Elisabeth in Bali at Elementis with us today. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. That introduction, I love it. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I'm so honored to be here. I really am. And just, even being at your place and stepping onto this space, you can feel the energy. And then you told me about all the cool stuff. So I'm literally in heaven right now. So thank you.
So please tell us what brings you to Bali.
Yeah, so I was invited to speak at the I Am Creation Summit.
Right.
And it's crazy because I have been, wanting to go to Bali for the past year. And it's just literally been calling me. So many friends have been like, you need to go. It's so healing. You need to. I mean, it's just been literally calling me. And then I got invited to speak. I'm like, boom, that's it.
Well,
that is it.
Thanks to I Am Creation Summit for bringing you here to us.
Yes.
It's an honor to have you. I know I've been following you for a while, and I'm fascinated of how many different modalities, healing modalities, biohacking modalities you're using and sharing with people. Yeah. And it's probably almost 100 that you experimented with, right?
Yes.
So I'm very curious, and for our Longevity Club members to hear, what are some of the ones that you still come back to? What are the ones that surprise you? Some that still make you shift your energy around? Maybe you can share some nuggets.
Yes. I mean, there are a couple that are my just go-tos that I will never, ever stop doing for the rest of my life because I know how powerful they really are. And I would have to say one is free, grounding. Connecting to the Earth's surface. I mean, our body needs these beautiful negative ions that are spread all over the Earth's surface. And we've been disconnected from the Earth's surface because of rubber-soled shoes. And ever since then, I'm not saying correlation is causation, but you've seen an uptick in diabetes. You've seen an uptick in autoimmune disease. And I think a lot of that has to do with the reason that we are disconnected from the Earth's surface, because when you're connected and you're sucking up those beautiful negative ions, I mean, it's impossible to be chronically inflamed. And when you are chronically inflamed, that is the basis of all autoimmune disease.
Right.
So, I mean, that is probably my go-to, and it's the most natural thing. I mean, honestly, if you're stressed, just go outside, put your hands and feet on the Earth's surface, sit there and just be in peace and connect with the trees, connect with the plants. And it's almost impossible to be stressed. It literally sucks the stress out of you. So that's go-to number one.
It's free, right?
Yes.
You can just do this. You don't have to spend a lot of money.
No. But you know what I did? Because, when I go hard, it's something I go hard. So, I mean, I have a grounding mat at home that I sleep on, a pillowcase, a blanket, a work mat. I drive in a car, what I sit on. I mean, everything is grounded. People always ask me, how long should I ground? I'm like, all day, every day, okay? As much as you can. So, at this point, I'm pretty much obsessed. I have my patches that I bring every country with me. I mean, I'm always connected, every single time. I mean, even coming to Bali, jet lag, right? I mean, I traveled for almost 2 days to get here. And usually that would cause a person to have jet lag. Mm-hmm. But I plugged myself in, when I went to sleep, I just laid in the bed, put my patches on, my K1 points on my feet so the energy could come all the way up your body. And I woke up normal time feeling normal because it syncs your circadian rhythm to where you are on the planet when you ground. So that is one of the best ways that people can get over jet lag, is just literally grounding. I mean, go dive in an ocean if you're there, you know, same thing. I mean, the minerals in the ocean, your body's sucking that stuff up, and the ions, you know, how it's a beautiful feeling. A lot of people feel so calm and connected after they go on vacation because they've actually grounded, not even knowing. So, I mean, it's one of my favorites. I would have to say another one is neurofeedback, specifically Neuroptimal, which is a different type of brain training. So it's really brain training. Neurofeedback, they brain map you. They find out what is kind of, you know, infrequent and not going perfectly in your brain. And then they will feed you frequencies to raise certain ones or lower other ones. That's neurofeedback. Now, I found a different company. It's called Neuroptimal. And this is just basically like putting a mirror up to your brain. It's showing your brain, hey, this isn't working, fix. Because if you're unaware of an issue, you can't fix it. So if you're sitting there and your brain's looking at itself, it's fixing itself in real time. And that's a beautiful, beautiful modality that, you know, I actually bought a system, and I will plug myself in. You put electrodes on your head and listen to 33 minutes of music. You'll hear skips, pauses, and interrupts. And that's your brain basically talking to itself. And so that helps with focus, anxiety. I mean, people come out of it crying because it brings up emotion that people haven't processed. You know, it's just, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing to kind of center yourself. So that's one that I will always, always probably go back to.
So do you feel there's a bridge between, you know, balancing your circadian rhythm, you know, getting the nutrients and everything to support your like inner work, right? You mentioned trauma, stressors that are embedded in the muscle memory. Do you feel like that connection of nurturing our body supports the neurochemistry, and we can see then in these brain waves of the tools that you're using? How do you feel that balance between these two, like emotional, physical, and mental, comes together?
Yes. You know, I love this question. I always talk about this. I feel like mind, body, soul. You have to touch each one if you want to be the most optimized that you can be. I mean, your body, right? Think about if you got a knee injury and you're walking around and your knee hurts. That's going to affect the way you feel mentally. You're going to be like, oh my God, you know, I'm in so much pain. And then that's taking away
myself.
Yes. So it's, you know, it's almost like we have a certain amount of capacity every day, right? Our brain has a certain amount of capacity. Our bodies have a certain amount of capacity. So if we're not healthy, whole, and optimized in our physical body, then it's taking away that brain capacity, our mind capacity, our magic. You know, it's kind of just pulling right from us. So I really feel like you have to support the body. You know, first and freaking foremost, you have to support this vessel, because if you are walking around in pain, toxic, it's going to block all of it, you know, all of it. I mean, when I was an alcoholic and doing a whole bunch of drugs, I wasn't getting downloads. I mean, what? You know, it blocks your connection to source because you're filled up with toxicity. So the clearer and healthier that you can get in your physical body, the more energetically clear you'll be, you know, the more mentally clear you'll be. And if you're not mentally clear, then your body's not, you know, it's all connected. Everything is connected. So I absolutely believe that, you know, you have to feed all three systems, mind, body, soul, to be, you know, the whole optimized human.
Amazing. And the way that we fuel our bodies, I'm curious to learn about, you know, the basics, the essentials that we consume every day, like water and nutrition. You're very big on water. On your channel, you talk about a lot about hydrogen, about structured water. I mean, we are mostly made of water, right?
Exactly.
So when we're in this bioresonance, you know, water can get affected as well, especially the water that we intake. So what's your experience with that? What sort of water do you use? How you structure your water? What do you do with the hydrogen and things? I'm so curious to hear.
Yeah. So, you know, I mean, water is so important because, you know, we are made up of water, right? And it's just like, you know, when we drink structured water, we're feeding our body energetically. So, you know, hydrogen water. When I discovered hydrogen water, oh my gosh, I went full in, and it has changed my life. I used to get headaches. I used to wake up with a little bit of pain. I don't anymore because I only drink my hydrogen water. And I'm like, how is this happening? Because hydrogen is an antioxidant. So it's going inside of your body, clearing up all of the toxicity, you know, just energizing you. And it's an incredible, incredible hack. I was like, yo, my life is different. I have to talk about this all the time, but it makes so much sense because we are composed of water. You know, just like when you speak to your water, they have done science experiments where they look at the structure of the water. And if you're yelling at the water and putting negativity into it, then it looks all broken and discombobulated, you know. But if you're speaking beautiful gratitude, affirmations into your water, that actually builds the crystals and it becomes a beautiful, you know, scene, right?
Fascinated, right?
Yes.
There are these woo-woo things that, well, Dr. Hashimoto, a Japanese guy,
there you go.
He measured that somehow, but it's
proven by science now. Yes. Yes. So you know what? Sometimes if I'm having a bad day, I'll just take a glass of my hydrogen water. I'll speak some affirmations into it and I'll drink it. And you know what? I feel better. I feel better because you're ingesting that beautiful structure. And then I feel like when you do that, right, not only is the hydrogen helping you physically, but that structured water now is kind of spreading and creating that structure throughout your body. And it's just, you know, I feel like we have to drink water, right? That's something that we have to ingest all day. Okay. And so much of it is toxic. And I feel like, you know, the reason why a lot of people are, you know, imbalanced is because they're drinking toxic water. Think about, you know, we have to drink it all day. That's the most, you know, abundant resource that our bodies need. So if our water is not structured, if our water is not clean, what is it doing to your body? You know, that's why I think it's so important to structure your water and use hydrogen. I mean, I literally bring this. This is my quantum structuring wand. It's made in Germany. And I mean, when I met the man that invented all this stuff, I'm like, I can't even go into the science because it's too complicated for me. But all I know is that it works. So I will bring this to every single country with me because usually when I'm traveling, we're drinking out of plastic water bottles. I mean, we can never really drink tap water. So I bring this and you can taste the difference when you put this up against your plastic water bottle because it changes the frequency of the water and it takes away the negative and it only lets the positive be there. So then when you drink it, you can taste the difference. I'm not lying. I tell everybody this and they're like, I don't believe you. I'm like, well, try it. And they're like, whoa, you know? So, I mean, this is one of my favorite tools.
What else do you have there? You also bring some lights as well, and infuse a structured water with. Yes,
right? I mean, you can even do this. So, I mean, you can put the light onto your water. This also changes the frequency of the atom. So this works at an atomic molecular level. So taste it. Does it taste different than normally like it would taste?
Well, I'm already drinking Okiara water, which is structured hydrogen water.
Yeah, so how much better can it get, right?
Yeah. I got it.
Well, you know what? It's interesting with food.
So like, I guess when you travel a lot and you bring these tools and you use on the water, maybe on the food is what you can do. Can you work with nutrition as well like that? Yes. So, I mean, like I said, this takes away all the negative frequency of the food. So it's very interesting when you shine this and flash this on your food. What for me happens is I can taste the different ingredients of the food so much more clearly than I can without it. Like it changes the taste. And people, again, they won't believe me and I'll be like, well, try it. And they're like thrown just, wow, like it works. And, you know, this also helps with pain. I mean, Kirsty had a bug bite and we flashed it on her bug bite and it stopped the bug bite from itching. I mean, it's incredible what this does. I mean, and it's literally a quantum light that changes the frequency of the energy of whatever you're flashing it on to only basically have it be good for you, for your body. And then, just real quick, so this here is a card, and within 5 feet of this card, it turns all food organic. So if you're at a really toxic place with non-organic food, it will turn the food organic within 5 feet. You have so many things around. You also have on your back some patches that are that are there.
Yes, so I have Photobiomodulation patch on my back. It's a LifeWave patch, and what they do is they weave crystals into this fabric. And so it reflects your light back into your body, and it creates different things, different chemical reactions basically within your body. So today I knew that I was doing a couple podcasts, and so I wanted to make sure that I was
exposed to radiations, and
yes,
protect your field with it, right?
Yes, that too, exactly. Well, these do that. So these are kind of the same. So this is the same company. The organic food, these will actually, within 10 feet, protect you from radiation. So you're good right now because you're sitting next to me with my little,
thank you,
with my little tools here. But, these patches, they create different reactions within your body. So today I have the X49 patch and the X39 patch on, which helps with mental clarity. It helps with energy. It helps with stamina. It helps with just basic connection. But they have glutathione patches that actually they've done studies where this person wore a glutathione patch, and then within 24 hours, their glutathione levels went up 230%. Incredible.
It's interesting with glutathione being like master antioxidant,
Yes.
It only lasts like 24 hours in our body, and then it has to reproduce. And when we take IV of glutathione of supplements, it's really interesting the effect it has and the lifespan. But then when you have patches, it kind of constantly trains your body
Yeah,
how to reproduce it more often, right?
Yes. Well, see, what people are mistaken with glutathione is that it's such the molecule is so weak, not weak, but it's so easy to have that break, so if you're ingesting it through, eating or something, you're not gonna, your stomach acid is gonna destroy the glutathione. You're not gonna receive any of that. So you have to get it through IV. And if they give you glutathione inside of the bag of IV, then you're really not even gonna get all of those levels of glutathione. Right. They have to push it at the end because it's such a weak, it's so easy to break down. So, it's a very hard antioxidant to actually get into our bodies. So I love the patches because, it's almost guaranteed. It's a different way of creating that within your system rather than ingesting it.
I love that you're using so many different tools, and some of which still seems very woo-woo too, because they're not scientifically proved. However, there are more and more studies coming out that people are actually trying to measure. And you mentioned that you've been using neurofeedback to kind of try to map your circadian rhythm, your biological clock, any biomarkers that you can use these holistic devices, I would say, and then measure yourself. And then you share this beautifully with people. And another thing I noticed that you're sharing on your profiles more often, frequently, and recently is you speak out about supplements.
Yes.
And that's something that, especially if you're in the States or in Europe and you don't have exposure to a lot of sun, like here in Bali, to organic food and just like grounding, that's a natural sauna and all of the other things. What sort of supplements you kind of use on a daily basis? What sort of supplements you kind of swear by there?
Let me just talk for 10 years.
Let's geek out of this a bit.
No, you know what? I take a lot because, especially in America, our soil is stripped. It's very hard to get nutrition from our food anymore because there's no microbes living in the soil to provide our minerals and vitamins that we used to get. And the pesticides just destroy us, So it's very important that we supplement, especially for people that live in the north and do not get enough sunlight. Right. I mean, vitamin D is a big reason why people feel depressed, because if you're low in D, then you're not going to feel good. And so I really feel like vitamin D is an incredible supplement that everybody needs to take, especially people with darker skin, because they need more vitamin D, which is never really talked about. I mean, if you're a fair skinned person, you're going to need probably 30 times less vitamin D than a darker skinned person.
So what's your dosage? Like you take 5,000, 10,000 UI?
10,000. I take 10,000 a day.
It's a strong dose, right?
Yes.
People usually take like 1,000 and they believe that's good.
Well, that's what, the system says that you have to take, right? That's the dose that everyone should take. But it's really, they're starting to prove that that's not the case, especially for people with darker skin.
And living in the northern parts of hemisphere where this the sun rays don't hit that often throughout the year. So especially in England, for example, right? You require, and they're basically chronically deficient in vitamin D, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And you mix it up with a stack of K2 or something like that?
So I take actually Dave Asprey's vitamin Dake, which is D, A, K, and E. It's all in one little supplement. And so I take that every day. He also has minerals that I take. One supplement that I found very interesting is MitoPure's urolithin A. And what urolithin, have you heard of it? Urolithin A? Yes, of course you have. So helps your mitochondria. And if your mitochondria are functioning properly, then you will be functioning properly. But if your mitochondria is not, I mean, that's a cause of disease, that's a cause of breakdown, of energetic just loss. So, they're doing a lot more studies on supporting your mitochondria and how much that helps your health.
Absolutely amazing. And any other supplements you're taking? I've noticed that you speak a lot about magnesium, for example. Those are like essentials, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And that's kind of the link between, I feel what you mentioned, the balance between mind, body, and soul or spirit, is like what magnesium does to your body, to your thoughts, to the inflammation, to muscle memory caused by stressors and traumas, right?
Yes.
Those type of neurochemicals that support our body to really soften and learn to surrender and to let go of some of these, right?
Yes. Well, if you have anxiety, for instance, you're probably deficient in magnesium. Anytime anyone's around me and they're like having an anxiety attack, I'm like, here, let me just go into my bag and give you some magnesium, and it will settle the nervous system down. So I take magnesium glycinate at night because it's calming. And I take magnesium threonate, which is the only type of magnesium that crosses the blood-brain barrier, and it helps with focus. So I'll take that in the morning for the day. And, magnesium is almost every single function in your body needs it. So like I said, if you're deficient in that, you're not going to feel right, And usually when someone has anxiety, magnesium deficiency, especially in America, I don't know about Bali because it's different energy here, but in America, I mean, everybody's deficient in everything. And that's why I feel like so many people are just lost in the sauce,
So they feel a bit more lost mentally as well.
Oh, yeah.
So what other nootropics or like a brain hacks you get in your body? So
phosphatidyl, I have so much serine. I have so much trouble saying that. I call it PS. But it's, phosphatidyl serine. You know what I'm talking about? Yes. So I love that supplement. It's a brain booster. It really, really helps. I've been taking that now for about a year.
Because you do so many podcasts, you do so many events, and then so many businesses. You have so you got to stay
focused.
Yeah,
got to stay focused. Yes, absolutely. You know what I think is important too? Probiotics. Probiotics, prebiotics. I mean, you have to have gut health. Your gut basically
second brain, isn't it?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So ASICs between those two will balance each other.
Absolutely.
Out, right?
Absolutely. And I discovered Omnibiotic maybe 2 years ago, and they have different types of probiotics. And so, especially when I'm traveling, like I have a huge bag of my Detox, right? And that is specifically a probiotic that helps detox your liver. And, when you're flying and when you're going to another country and, my microbiome is not used to Bali. So I'm going to need more support because I'm ingesting all, different things. So it really helps support that. They also have stress probiotics where I take specifically at certain times in my cycle, because I get women, we go through our cycles and we get emotional. I've noticed that taking that stress probiotic during specific times really helps my stress lower. So I really find it's important for people to take it. Saccharomyces boulardii, which combats candida if someone has candida overgrowth. I mean, we all have candida, but some people, overgrowth, it gets very bad.
So glad that you mentioned As boulardii. There is a fact that As boulardii was invented and discovered here in Bali.
Really?
By extract from mangosteen and lychee fruit by this Boulardii scientist, which was Italian back in 70s.
Really?
And it's known to be one of the best bacteria for a microbiome, for gut health, right?
Yes.
And it's just here. So when you eat mangosteen and lychee, which grows here naturally, if you go to New York and buy it, you probably pay 100 times more here.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing what you can get from the nature here. So thank you so much for mentioning As boulardii bacteria.
Yes. Well, you know what? if I lived here, I probably wouldn't be taking all the supplements that I
Right.
take. You know, I wouldn't have to have all the crazy hacks because we, you know, in the Western world, I mean, we're so sped up. It's a different energy. The food is dead there. It's filled up with, they put yoga mats material inside of bread so it won't mold. I don't remember the last time my bread molded. Seriously. I mean, if you get a loaf of bread from the grocery store, I'm not lying. It goes in yoga mats.
There's a lot of mold and then mycotoxins in the West. And what we believe here in Bali, especially in Elementis, the longevity villages and centers we make is we try to bring this mold-free environment and then allow nature to support you through the nutrition and hydration with the structure water, with supplement water and different products. And it's so simple when we allow nature in these environments to heal.
Yes.
But when we go back to our business, our big polluted cities filled with mold and toxins and the foods, it's very interesting just to share this and be aware of what's out there and how it affects our bodies, right? And some of these are, you know, being spoken to like people like yourself, that I'm very grateful that you're bringing this to the masses, and also bring more kind of holistic and woo-woo stuff and talking about energetics, about bioresonance, about your frequency. That's really kind of a bit harder to measure, right? But it's affected by everything we consume, everything we're surrounded by, the community and the friends we spend time with, which I feel the essence of you know, you coming to Bali at I'm Creation Summit is being around the community in a healthy environment, doing this podcast and just like geeking out on those things. So what sort of things on these more energetic levels you feel like really supported you, and what are those ones that are a bit kind of still in your daily practice that you always return to, especially when you're feeling overwhelmed and stressed? And I know from your personal story, if you're open to speak about this, you went through a lot of burnout. You know, having built an empire of almost 100 million people in the community, having been abused as well, and a lot of things. What are some of those things that you started to support yourself with? I'm curious if you're open to share some of those things.
I'm an open book. Open books, yes. You know, I've had tons of trauma in my life. You know, I was not always this person. You know, a lot of physical abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse, sexual abuse. I mean, throughout pretty much all of my life from 3 until I would say 24. So just that amount of trauma, violating trauma to the body, it kind of just throws your energy completely off. It disconnects you from source, from yourself, you know, because it kind of steals your soul a little bit. And so it took me a while to find myself again. And so, you know, I found brain training at a very young age. At 19, I had just got off a drug binge, and I brain trained. I did neurofeedback for the first time because I could not speak. I could not finish the sentence. I had so much inflammation in my brain. I was always priding myself off of being smart, and I couldn't speak all of a sudden. So neurofeedback brought me back into myself again at 19. And so that kind of pushed me down the path of biohacking, especially with the brain. Now, you speak about the body. I didn't even know about the body until maybe, you know, my mid-20s. So I was doing all this brain training, all this mind stuff, trying to meditate, but only until I started doing the body work, as in craniosacral therapy.
Oh, interesting.
I had somato-emotional release work, and I realized that our bodies, our cells, remember and hold all of the trauma that we've ever been through.
So you believe there's a muscle memory in fascia, especially?
Cellular. Fascia, absolutely. And even in every individual cell, it remembers everything, even though we don't personally and consciously remember those things. And I know this because in sessions of craniosacral that I did, I mean, the woman one time put her hands on my gut and my body flashback into my mother's womb. And I was swimming around in my mother's womb, feeling the stress of her holding me in her belly. And like, she didn't want me and she was so stressed and depressed.
Oh,
and,
wow.
you know, I sat
You
there.
felt your mother's
Yes.
prenatally in her stress. And you've
Absolutely.
spoken to your mom about it as well?
Well, I was adopted, but what I do know is that stress hormones cross the placenta halfway through pregnancy. So if you're sitting
Wow.
and you're stressed as a pregnant woman, your baby is swimming around in your stress, feeling that magnified, because babies have no walls. So everything that they feel, it goes direct into their soul. So that amount of pain that I felt was incredibly healing for me, actually, because I was able to release that in the moment and realize, you know, I'm not crazy for, you know, having my traumatic, crazy childhood and making all these decisions, but it started somewhere for me, you know? So I know now that our cells hold everything, because how else would I have remembered that if she put her hands on my, you know, on my stomach? So
well, thank you for sharing that, because some of the moms might actually take different approach of raising their children.
It's so important.
Babies. Yeah.
It's so important. I mean, pregnant women should be honored and revered. I mean, they're holding our future in their stomachs and everything. I mean, they've seen it now through ultrasounds. When the mother is laughing, the baby's laughing. You know, when the mother's crying, the baby's crying.
Right.
So it's like, you know, pregnant women should just be relaxed all the time.
Supported. Right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And, you know, back to the body and the energy that the body holds, trauma release exercise. It's called TRE. Dr. David Berceli actually invented this exercise, and you exhaust your psoas muscle, and then in turn, your body will start to vibrate and shake and, you know, go like this. And it's very interesting because animals in the wild do not have PTSD, because if you see them, if they have a trauma to them, then they'll shake, or ducks, they'll flap their wings all crazy because they're releasing the trauma from their physical body. Humans, we hold on to it. Think about all the years we hold on and hold our sadness, hold our grief, when our bodies need to get it out, you know? So trauma release exercise is incredibly powerful to release that energy from the fascia, especially from the muscles, from our cells. So, you know, connecting mind, body was when I really started to dive all the way headfirst into this biohacking stuff, because it's really when I started to see contrast in my life, because you have to address all three: mind, body, soul, energy.
Right. So you mentioned the shaking, and I've noticed that, you know, Osho and then his approach to shaking off, some of them in India even, they have kind of communities and sanghas where they just shake off through music every day. And they measure the cortisol and how much we can release, what they believe it's a karma as well that they can release. And you mentioned about, you know, animals. It's just like nature that we can just get inspired and learn from, right? And polar bears, when they go into flight or fight or even freeze states, like, how do they do it? They just go out and shake it off.
Exactly.
Shake
it's exactly
the booty off.
what we're supposed to do. I mean, Dr. David Berceli, it's really interesting how he discovered this. He was, you know, a soldier in a war, and they were in a bomb shelter, and he was looking at a mother holding her two kids on her lap, and they were hearing bombs get closer and closer and closer, and those kids were shaking of fear, terrified, just shaking, because when you're a kid, you don't know any better. You don't hold, you know, you're not going to feel stupid.
So it's autonomic, subconscious, protects us. Body knows what to do. Right?
Exactly. And so he really started to study, why are they shaking? Why is no adult in here shaking? And that's when he discovered and realized that we have to shake off our trauma too.
So you believe that these daily practices and rituals that you're doing, they become a part of your subconscious, which is probably 95% of autonomic things that we do on our autopilot, right?
Yeah.
And there's specific ones you do every day. It's like, how does they look like? I know that you woke up early this morning. You already went through a water ceremony. You already did a live stream. This is your third podcast. And it's like, it's midday.
Yeah.
What's going on, girl?
You know what? I mean, today was different for me because Bali energy is incredibly different than America energy. I mean, here, you know, it brings up stuff. It makes you look at things that you didn't even know you had to look at. So I was trying to do my normal meditation this morning, and I was realizing that too much was coming up and I couldn't really get into I call it the space place.
Space place?
Yes. And so I just started to pray this morning, and I call it, you know, my spirit team, my spirit guides, my angels, my ancestors, and every other light being that walks with me in this life. And I just started to pray to them and talk to them this morning and really just align myself. And it was almost like a release of negativity. Just woof, I could feel it just go, which is incredible. This is way different than my whole routine at home in America. But I feel like that was Bali energy, and then me talking to my spirit team. You know, it kind of just, I went through something last night, and it kind of just pulled it away from me and centered me back. So after that, I got up, and I always drink my electrolytes and probiotics first thing in the morning. So I downed that, and then I took some of my supplements. You know, some you want to take on an empty stomach, and then some you want to take with food. So I'll take some in the morning. And then after that, you know, I drank a glass of water. I structured my water, and I drank just a clear glass of water and kind of continued my day. But, you know, in America, when I'm at home, my routine is very different because it's very stressful there. It's not like here. It's very sped up, and the energy is like almost anxious energy, where here it's very pleasant, soft, divine, feminine. You know, it's just very, like, that's how I see it. So when I'm at home, you know, I'll get up, I'll meditate until I feel gratitude all through my body. Then I will get out of bed. And then I go straight to my red light, and I turn on my red light therapy.
Okay.
Yes, I love red light therapy. I mean, this has just done wonders, not only mentally, but physically for me. I mean, it creates more ATP, which feeds your mitochondria, gives you more energy.
Right.
It's also great for your skin. I mean, it just has so many benefits.
And it's interesting what you're saying. You know, what you're doing is a stacking, actually.
Yeah.
If you take the hydrogen structure
Yes.
water and then you go under
Red light
the
therapy?
red light therapy,
Yes.
the magic really happens. And then
Absolutely.
you can scan it and see it, which
Yes.
is, I love that you're sharing that.
Yes,
Oh, wow.
It's amazing. I mean, that's what you should do. The first thing in the morning, go to your hydrogen. If you got hydrogen water, drink a full glass of hydrogen water and just see how you feel. I also take nitric oxide, which kind of, you know, wakes up your inner body and helps the blood just, you know, start
Energy
moving.
is moving.
Yes.
It's hard to find, but I learned that nitric oxide is like predominantly found in beetroots. You know, beetroot is this new superfood that people are just like getting in.
Yes,
you know, it's
yes,
all
because
big
of all the
all around.
benefits. I know.
Juicy.
You know what? It's like, once we discover these things and we see how much contrast that we have with our energy, it's like, why would you ever let it go? You know? So I make sure that I really follow along these things, especially at home. I mean, red light therapy is every day. Hydrogen water is every day. My supplements are every day. Grounding is every day. I mean, I even bring my spices with me when I travel, because I don't know what type of pepper and salt people have, you know? So I want to make sure that I bring, you know, extra 21 plant-based vitamins and minerals inside of my salt and pepper that I bring places, you know? So I'm using, because a lot of people have toxic salts, you know? I mean, I have Baja Gold salt at home, which has minerals.
That's what
and is
Gary Brecka swears by, Baja Gold salt. So there's
incredible.
no heavy metals, no arsenic, no...
It's the cleanest salt you can get. It's the cleanest, because there's so much heavy metals in salt. Right. There's so much arsenic in salt. We don't even know these things.
Mercury is very common. What happens with the Celtic salt brand is like they discover so much mercury inside, and we were all like using this for years, right? It's like I was having my, you know, morning, you know, apple cider vinegar with the lemon and then, you know, Celtic salt, and like for years.
Then they find out. Oh, there's heavy metals in here. Oh, great. That's great. But Baja Gold.
Gold is one of your favorite salts. That's great. And then I love that you bring these stacks of your herbs.
I do. I bring, you know, I have my grounding patches. I have my magnetic therapy that I bring with me everywhere. It's a Hap B device, and it's a ring that you're supposed to wear it on your head. I put it around my neck, and the magnetic resonance, there's different protocols that you can choose. And I bring it with me because it helps me sleep. And it also helps me focus if I ever need it, the extra boost of being focused. So, that's another thing I bring with me. I didn't bring it here, but it helped me sleep last night. And it's been a little difficult to sleep here because the energy is so like, but that definitely has helped a lot. And another supplement that I want to touch on is methylene blue.
Oh,
yeah.
Good stuff.
Yes, I know. Amazing. I mean, amazing for the brain. Just the clarity after I take it is wild. And it used to be a cure for malaria, right? Or a treatment for malaria.
Well, I feel that how it's found is it was a fabric dye. They used to, color the fabrics for the shirts and things with methylene blue. And then they found the different benefits. And there has been some studies shown, but there's still no kind of a long-term use consequences because some people are now finding that your brain actually becomes blue after a while because of the dye, right?
Oh, wow, I didn't know that. I gotta look into that. That's interesting.
Here in Bali, we have these, longevity club parties, and sometimes, you get welcome drink, which is like blue, and it's like, what is going on here?
Amazing.
It's just...
You can stack that too with red light therapy, oxygen therapy too. I mean, that's another one of the things that I find oxygen the most. Therapy, right? Yes, hyperbaric oxygen chambers specifically. So I actually have one at home. And, a lot of us go through our lives and we have trauma to our brains. I mean, even going through the birth canal, that's still a trauma to your brain. Getting hit in the head or just falling or something, trauma to your brain. So you might never know that you have blood flow restrictions some places in your brain that could be affecting the way that you are. I mean, a lot of people act certain ways because it's a hardware problem. Right, it's a blood flow problem.
So you feel like there's this default mode network that people are, on a daily basis in these wire circuits. And this circuitry, after a while, prevents the oxygen from the flow, right? So when you go into hyperbaric, you kind of have a more blood flow, more circulation, pushes
blood and oxygen to your brain to where it's not getting the flow. So they've literally done studies of TBIs. I mean, Dr. Daniel Amen, I've worked with him for a couple times, and he's the doctor for the NFL in America. And he's done over, I think at this point, 350,000 brain scans of all, like around the entire world. And he's seeing in one of his most things that he recommends is hyperbaric oxygen for that. And they see, I mean, he'll scan a brain after they've done sessions in the hyperbaric, whereas before they were having restrictions in blood flow in so many different places. And now their brain everywhere, they're getting all the blood flow and oxygen that they need in their brain, and it shows up in these scans. It's
so important, especially if you do it as soon as you wake up or before bed. That's why here at Elementis, another location, next to each bed, it's just here. You have a device for hydrogen and an oxygen mask that you put, and you have power naps and an amazing sleep with it. It's so good.
Like I said, I'm in heaven right here.
Okay, so are there any nuggets? And I'm sure there are plenty, but is there like actually one nugget that you would like to share with our, longevity club members, with our listeners? That you feel that you're channeling right now, just channeling the...
You know what? It's more like, I used to think that we had to do all these different things to be whole and happy. And, and I've really been finding out recently that if you are able to just align with nature and be in nature, especially, I mean, you're in Bali, I mean, this is one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen. And I've been to many places. I mean, just grounding and connecting. I mean, there's a beautiful butterfly. Pay attention to the beauty, because then your brain and neuroplasticity will be more honing to the beauty and gratitude of the world. So, where your attention goes, or where, your energy flows. So if you're paying attention to the beauty and you see it and you can slow down and just connect with nature and all of it, I mean, you can sit here and have gratitude flush through your body, and that alone is healing inside. I mean, the neurochemicals that are being released when you're grateful is feeding your body, it's feeding your thoughts, it's feeding your mind. And so I think it is important to do all the biohacks, incredibly important, but if you are able to just connect with nature and be in nature and be present with nature and grateful for it, that alone is
Right.
incredibly healing in itself.
I love these elevated states,
Mhm.
especially with the gratitude.
Yes.
So yeah, let's get into it. What are you grateful for? Give me
Oh
three
my
top
gosh.
things. Come on.
My son, I just, you know
Oh.
what, being here in Bali has brought up so much for me.
Mm-hmm.
And just my connection with my son is just the most powerful, incredible, spiritual. I mean, he's my biggest teacher.
Mm-hmm.
I almost want to cry thinking about him. Oh my God, this place is so emotional. I'm like, dang, I'm just about to cry every 5 seconds. So, you know, my connection with my son, and I'm grateful for the dark night that I've just went through, because it has forced me almost to step into this different power that I never understood that I had. So I'm grateful for the trauma that I've just been through. I'm actually very grateful for all of the traumas that I've been through, because it has made me so strong and resilient and led me down this path of over 100 different modalities to try to heal myself. So, you know, I am grateful just for those things. I'm grateful for being in Bali. I mean, there's just too many. I can keep going. I'm grateful for you, this place. I can't wait to bring people here and everybody experience it. I mean, it's incredible what you've created. Like, I mean, this ice wall, I'm tripped out. The ice wall, like tripped out. So just the magic of life, you know, and connection. That's what I'm grateful for.
So beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. I'm grateful for you
Thank you.
for coming to Bali. I'm grateful for I'm Summit.
Yes.
I'm Creation Summit that brought you here. And tell us, where can people find you? Where can people subscribe and you know, learn more about you, join your courses, join your community? I know you're big on school, you're big on Instagram.
Yes.
Your website, maybe.
Yes, so people can find me at Elisabeth, spelled with an S. My name is spelled with an S, ElisabethUnlimited.com. I'm Elisabeth I. Carson on Instagram. I also am at Elisabeth Unlimited on Instagram. Yes, my school community is ever growing, and it's a beautiful, beautiful community, because the people that are there are not in there just to heal. They're there to heal others. So it's very supportive. It's one of the most beautiful things that I've created. So, you know, join my community, and yeah, I mean, just tap in there. I mean, I have my YouTube channel, Elisabeth Unlimited. So
you have your unlimited podcast as well, right?
Yes, Unlimited podcast. That's ever growing as well. I launched that 3 months ago, and it's wow. I mean, I went from, you know, no subscribers on YouTube to 15,000 in a very short time. So I think people are enjoying the podcast, and it's unlimited. I have guests from doctors to metaphysical healers to people with alien experiences. I mean, we're all over the place, but I love that, because I think one of the most beautiful things about the world is how different we all are, and all of our different experiences that we all have make us so unique. And I feel like that creativity that we all have is what needs to be shared in the world.
Thank you so much for doing that, for bringing diversity and different perspective and perceptions on health, longevity, and thank you for coming here.
Thank you.
Thank you for doing what you do. Keep doing everything, and thank you all for tuning in into Elementis Way, into our community. Check out elementis.co. Join our longevity club. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Leave comments in the section below. Check out okiara.com for more hydrogen structured water. Come visit us around the world in some of our places, and stay tuned, stay healthy.